Well, hello all you wonderful people. This is just a continuation of my new boat ownership, I guess, experience and journey. Today I am going to try to see, anyway, it was very lovely, if I can somehow disable this locking mechanism on these swivel seats. This is irritating as crap. But this locking mechanism is just irritating. You want to move your seat, but you have to reach down and move that lock. In fact, I even called the boat dealership and asked about it, and he said that you can, either somehow try and disable it, or buy a new locking mechanism, buy a new seat. And I thought, Lord have mercy. I know I've got more expenses coming up, so I don't want to spend any money I don't have to. These are brand new seats. They are comfortable. My wife and I went out, well, a couple nights ago actually, and just run the boat. We've done the 2-hour break-in periods. Now we have 8 hours to go to get to the 10-hour break-in, and then I can just run the boat. So I want to go fishing on Friday, so I wanted to work on this tonight. I have no idea how the mechanism works, so I'm trying to see if I can either remove that pin or just disable the locking part of it so my seat will just swivel, because that will make it much more comfortable. So here we go. Well, let's see what we got here. These do have a little buckle that does button down, and hopefully, yeah, all right. So it's just 4 screws, or 4 nuts and bolts, however you want to say it. So let me undo these. Let's see. There's a spring in there, and what I'm hoping, if you can see that spring or not, what I'm hoping is I can just disable that spring. I wonder, what I'm going to try and do before I take that off? If I can just hook that spring and unhook it. It looks like it's just hooked right there on a little hole that pops out. Let me see if I can just unhook that spring and be done with this thing. That would be awesome. Okay, that spring, I'm trying to, it simply mounts, there's a hole that it hooks into. And I really think if I disable the spring, I don't have to worry about this thing anymore. I mean, it may lock on its own accidentally. That's something I'm going to have to figure out, but let me try disabling that spring. I have put that flashlight in there. I got a extra long flathead screwdriver here, and need to come in from, I think, this side right here. Let's see how that works. Yeah. Man, it's tight. That's not working. All right, let me step back and think for a minute. Well, I'm going to try a Phillips head. That's only the 2 longest screwdrivers I have are a Phillips head and a flathead. But I'm going to try and get, if I can, put a piece of wood in there to give me a some kind of a fulcrum to work off of. So let's see. You've seen the idea what I'm trying to do. I just can't hold the camera at the same time while I'm trying to do this, so sorry, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to move this spring. This spring is tight. It's tight as Uncle Scrooge's purse strings. For those old people like me who know where that's from. It won't even move. All right, I'm gonna have to take this off. So plan B, I suppose. I don't have any kind of a wrench I can get down in there. So all right, thought it'd be easy, but man, that spring is, it's tight. So let's do this now. I'm gonna have to take these off. 7/16 what I want. Alrighty, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Let's see how we do here. I hate to do this because this seat is awesome, but I just don't like that swivel. It is a pain in the butt. No pun intended. Alright, I'm not going to sit and show this. You got the gist of it. I am taking these locking nuts off. It's going to take a while. It's even moving. Oh, I bet it's not moving. Yeah, I got to get a ratchet on the inside now. It's never easy. Alright, I'm going to start over here. Alright, I had to get a 7/16 inch wrench, and I've got to basically hold the top of the nut down, or the bolt, call it a nut, while I unscrew the bottom of it with my ratchet. Alright, now we can try this thing. There we go. No money spent, hallelujah. Of course, I'm acting like I'm done already and I hadn't even got it started hardly. Alright. So what I did, I'll try and see if you can see this or not. There's that bolt on the top, you have to hold it down and then you just unscrew the nut. So I'm not going to show this, but that's how you take this seat off. You have to use a wrench and then your ratchet, and there are just 3 more screws to go. They are locking nuts, so that's good. But I'm not going to show this, obviously. It's just rinse and repeat. So let me get the other 3 off of here. Here's what I think I'm going to do. I can take this spring and bring it out. I may just cut that spring. I just want this thing gone. It is a pain in the butt, and you can see how many it locks in all these little holes. So when you're trying to sit in the and move your chair around, you're constantly having to do this, and it's irritating. It's a horrible design. I've enjoyed the boat so far. This is horrible. They should either make that optional, where you can, you know, like in your office chair where you have a way to detach this lock, but to make it, you know, where it's going to lock. You see how it locks right there, this little tip comes in there. And I thought about trying to maybe cut that off with a hacksaw, but that's going to be pretty hard to do too. I really think if I'm going to cut that spring, and hopefully that'll pretty much make this thing useless. Again, I have no clue. I couldn't find any videos about this very thing that I want to do. I don't want to buy a new seat. I mean, yes, I could buy a new swivel base for it, but I like this swivel base. It's got tension to it, so you're not just going to be moving around willy-nilly. I just don't like this locking mechanism. It's just awful. I'm just going to try and cut that spring. It's pretty heavy duty spring, but I think I can snip that spring, and then got to figure out what I'm going to do with this locking mechanism. It's going to flop around and bug me. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. This may be dumb idea number 2 or 3, but just see what happens. That's it. Can't get a very good grip on it, so just trying to put these in there. What I'm doing now, I'm trying to lift this spring up so I can get my flathead under it, and maybe I can just get it out of the hole. There we go. Off. So I took the Phillips head, lifted the spring up, and I got this under it, and I was able to just lift it right out of that hole. So there you go. Free and easy. No locks, and even if it's there, I'll keep that spring if for some reason I want to reinstall it, but I don't. Yeah, problem fixed. Just got the spring off. All right. So now here is going to be the true getting this back on is going to be a pain in the patootie. Because, let's show you what I got here. You can see it's screwed through the carpet, and I have very limited access to getting the screws back in there. So I've got screw, or I keep calling them screws, I guess a form screw, bolts and washers. I need 4 of those. Oh, but yay, yay, yay. No more. I swear that's a heavy duty spring, but man, that thing was, oh God, I hate it. I'll be out in the water and you want to turn, well, you got to reach down, grab that knob, turn, and then turn, and then turn. I don't have to do that now. Now, was this easy? Not too bad. So far, getting it back together is going to be, I could tell when I took it off, this is not going to be fun. But you know what? I really, really wanted that gone, so it's okay. So let me find my other bolt here, and I'll go from there. It never fails. I've been looking for a lost nut when I knew it had to have fallen into the bed of the boat. And I've looked, I went in the garage and looked. It never fails. Something that should be simple becomes a pain in the butt. And guess where it was? It's right here. Again, don't follow me for any kind of construction or any kind of tips. Maybe a few fishing tips, but that's about it. But definitely not any kind of this stuff. Now here's the challenge. I've got to get this base. The nice thing is, it is, you can tell I can, you know, it's squished down in there. So, but each of these holes, but the challenge is going to be to get those nuts through these holes that are just in the carpet. So there's 4 of them, obviously. So I've got to get this base back on it like it was, which, you know, does have the guy, which is nice. And then I'm going to have to somehow finagle those bolts through these holes. And then it's an easy process of just putting the lock nuts back on there with the washers. Fingers crossed, but I'm just so happy that locking bar doesn't work anymore. All right, let me try and get this seat on here. Let's see what we can do. And then I'm going to have to set it up and somehow hold it. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Going to be fun. Well, here's another tip. You can't do it the front of the seat facing this. I'm going to have to go to the side. Yeah, I can see that better. All right, yeah, this is doable. If I can just get one of them in, I'll be okay. And I've got room to work here. I'll be all right. If I can get the top 2 on, I'll be all right. And I've already dropped one. Yeah, here we go. I'll go ahead and put it in the base. There you go. See, I'll figure this thing out. I'm able to look at that now. I'm going to go ahead and get a nut and a washer on here. That'll help hold the seat. Well, shoot. You know, being able to set that seat up a little bit, I was able to actually see what I'm doing. Well, I say that, and I can't even get the nut on here. Here we go. All right, so that nut's on. Now let's just do the same thing over here. I can, well, not as easy though. All right, I'm gonna put that. I've dropped another one. There you go. Got one more shot at it here. All right, got that on. Now let's get this up here. Figure out where that hole is. It's right there. Easier said than done, right? There we go. Got it through. Alright, let me get a washer and nut on here. Now the next two are going to be a little more difficult because I don't have as much room to work. But we'll at least get it started. Alright, so it's on there. Now, 2 down, 2 to go, and they fell to the front, and I've got to go around front anyway. Yeah, How Not to Work on Your Boat by Old Man by the Sea Productions. Yeah. I'll have the, I love all these videos I see that say, easy 5 steps to do blah, 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 you know, 1 hour or 5-minute crafts, and all that stuff's a bunch of crap. None of it's quick and none of it's easy, what I'll see. Yeah, I watch one guy talk about easy way to make boat guides, and dear Lord, the processes he was going through, I was like, man, 62 bucks I bought mine. He spent, I would say, probably close to $40 or $50 on supplies just to do it. Then he had to have all the saws to cut it with and everything. It was crazy. I'm stuck. I don't know what I'm going to do. Just going to have to go by feel. Turn the base here. Yeah, I'm just going to have to go by feel. The nice thing is having those 2 on the top. At least I know the base is kind of where it's supposed to be. But I'm able to lift the seat up. Well, I can show this. I'm able to lift the seat up enough, like this, that I can get that bolt through there. The hole is right there. If I can put the camera back here, maybe you can see what I'm doing. So the hole's right here. And since I already have the top 2 on, kind of know where it needs to go as far as getting back on the base here. But you just have to go by feel. And there's the hole. That's what she said. Take that out probably. I don't know, let's see. Alright. Now I've got to go back around here. When you're 63 years old, this may not be the best thing to do, but it's alright. Keeps me young, right? Yeehaw. So now I've got this one in. I've got to come back under here. Need to hold it. Got to hold that in there. And right there it is. All right, we're getting there. Yeah. One more to go. We're getting there. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was kind of dreading getting those bolts back in because I realized I had very limited workspace. Let me put this back here. And this is my last one. Oh. Yeah, this one's tight. This, well, remember to turn your seat so you can get some room to work. That if you have the front of the seat like that, there's no room to get under there. It's like a big duh. You gotta find the slot it goes in. That's right there. Now it's in. And I think it's in the hole. Let's see if it's actually in that hole. If it is, then it's just a matter of, oh, Lord. If it's in there, it's just a matter of getting the nut on it. Yep, it's there. Heck yeah, man. That wasn't so bad. All right. We're on there. And since it's square, it can only go one way, right? So those are back on there. And it looks like it's back in its resting place, best I can tell, where that carpet was all smashed down. So let's tighten some bolts up. going to tighten them all the way down yet. I want to get the, I'm guessing it's where it's supposed to go. Alright. Need to tighten these bolts on down. And I'm sure in the factory they do all this while it's before it's attached to the seat of the boat, but you know, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and attach, I'll go ahead and snug these guys down. Whoops, oh, there you go. Not a hard process, and you know, I don't know how much money I've saved, but I would say, how much those swivel base cost? 30, 40 bucks? I don't know. This is all brand new stuff, so I hate to go out and buy something else brand new to put on it. Let's see here. For some reason, that's wanting to stick on those. I don't know why. I guess that spring was probably holding that up, maybe. Well, we'll sit in it and see. Let me get this last one tightened down here. If that's the case, it's still better than it was. And hopefully just like that, that locking seat went to a non-locking seat. Well, I don't know, I may not be out of the woods yet. Ah, crap. Let me get this other one tightened down, let's see. I may have to cut that thing off. Alright, let's just see what happens here. Let me sit my big hiney on here. Oh yeah, I'm good. Heck yeah, man. Oh, so much better. Like I said, it was just such a pain now. So, woo, it works. I'm able to go all the way around. It catches a little bit back here, but you know, I can just kind of tilt my seat up, no big deal. Wanting to catch on that back screw. I won't be fishing that way a lot. It is catching a little bit, but for where I'll be turning this way, be turning that way. You know, I may turn around, but for not spending any money and making it, you know, at least tolerable, I guess. Let's see. Interesting. Yeah, I can just move it around. You know, I can get up and down. It's not perfect. I guess the best thing to do is if you had a grinder and a way to cut that piece of metal off, it wouldn't catch on anything. But for my purposes, I'm very happy, because now when I go fishing on Friday, which is what I plan to do, I won't have to worry about that darn locking mechanism. I can fish this way, I can fish that way. Much, much, much better. If you made it this far and you want to follow this journey about a new boat owner, which is what I am, then please subscribe to the channel. There'll be fishing videos with this boat also, and I'll continue to do kayak fishing videos. I'm not done with my kayak. I just needed to get this boat to get me on the next step toward retirement. So, as always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like this kind of content, and I will catch you in the next video.